All right, hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are going to be talking about this concept that I heard from another creator on YouTube, and it's called permanent content versus vanishing content. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is why I'm going to be shifting my focus to YouTube, and I'm going to be kind of veering away from Instagram and veering away from maybe even TikTok. We'll see. So I'm actually going to kind of do this in reverse order. I'm going to talk about the YouTube thing first, and then we're going to talk about the permanent content versus the vanishing content. So the first thing I want to talk about is YouTube. YouTube is more than likely going to be the place that I'm going to be posting content from this point forward. And the reason why is because YouTube continues to grow for me, even though I'm not posting really any content whatsoever. One thing that my YouTube channel is kind of known for is more grab avoid code and manifestation content, which is not necessarily like my bread and butter per se, but I continue, like the last time that I checked, I had 1,500 subscribers, and well, sorry, that's not entirely true. Earlier this year, I had 1,500 subscribers, and to date, and it is currently March 23rd, 2024, I have 1,692 subscribers. So I've gained 192 subscribers over the course of 3 months, and I didn't post any videos on YouTube. Now, again, my content has a lot to do with grab avoid codes, has a lot to do with manifestation. Do I want to continue talking about manifestation? Yes, in a more, like law of attraction, subconscious kind of light. Like I don't necessarily want to be talking about just manifestation per se. I do want to be talking about other things as well in my content, because the audience who I'm serving is ultimately entrepreneurs. And while manifestation and self-development do play a role, what also plays a role is business strategy and content and marketing and money, which are all other areas that I have a lot of experiences in. And I could share my experiences in those areas. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create videos on YouTube, because success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Not only did I gain 192 followers by not doing anything on YouTube, but there are YouTubers who are very successful YouTubers who have left social media for a stint of time. I'm talking about Vanessa Lau, and her YouTube channel continued to grow and it continued to generate her money. Whereas her Instagram, she lost thousands of followers and it didn't generate her any money. And in all honesty, I've been sitting here thinking that Instagram is a place to go because there's quality buyers on Instagram. That's not 100% always the case. What I'm thinking is that people buy the lifestyle on Instagram. And in a sense, they kind of do. But there's other ways to talk about things, to educate your audience, to share your story. And for me in particular, I know I'm better on video than I am on Instagram. And even though Instagram is pushing reels, it's pushing Instagram's type of reels, right? Like it's pushing reels according to the successful metrics of Instagram. And I know that I do well on a platform that's going to have authenticity and that's going to reach more people than just somebody who's going to be interested because what I made was aesthetically pleasing. So for me, I have always been very good on TikTok. I have literally blown my expectations out of the water on 3 different TikTok accounts. And I know that I can also do very well over on YouTube. And in fact, if I were really to sit here and think about it, the whole reason why I got into this space anyways is because I wanted to become a YouTuber. I wanted to be like Eric Conover and the Vega brothers. And like, if I didn't do that at all, like if I didn't make any YouTube videos at all, which I did for a very long stint of time, would I really be doing what I wanted to set out to do? No. So like, why am I trying to do all of these other things when they're not the things that I really want to be doing? Case in point. So I'm going to be moving over to YouTube because I enjoy making videos. It's very easy and it's natural and it flows well for me to go on a topic and to riff and to rant and to be on the camera, because even though, like, look, I have my cat in my lap, okay? Even though for a lot of people it can be scary, and don't get me wrong, at one point it was for me, the benefits of YouTube far outweigh the benefits of other platforms. With YouTube, I can not only build a community, I can also get monetized on my channel, and I can share things other than just educational content. And that's kind of where I want to go into this next topic, which is permanent content versus vanishing content. So permanent content is kind of like what this content is that I'm making right now. It's educational. It has a longer shelf life. For some people, they call it evergreen content, as in it can stay green or profitable forever. And yes, that is true. However, there's other permanent types of content that don't have to necessarily be educational that are still there. It's basically just that it's a longer form piece of content that people are interested in watching, right? Like, it could be educational, or really the only other option that I see in this case is that it's entertaining. We could sit and watch movies and comedy shows and, like TV shows all day. And a lot of the time, they're not always educational. Documentaries are educational, and people watch documentaries all the time. But a lot of the time when people go on to Netflix or HBO Max, whatever, they're looking to be entertained. They're looking for something to capture their attention and to, like, just kind of like blow off steam from their day. And so what I'm going to be doing when I go onto YouTube is I'm going to be using this exact strategy that Vanessa Lau actually talks about in one of her more recent videos that she's released, because she's only on YouTube now, where I'm going to use this concept of permanent versus vanishing content. And so my permanent content is going to be like this, where it's more education-based or entertaining-based, and it's longer form. So it's going to be upwards of 10 minutes minimum, but it could go longer. It could go to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. And then I'm going to be incorporating vanishing content in a different way. So Instagram stories is a really good example of vanishing content. And for a lot of people, they tell you to sell in your Instagram stories. And while I can see that that would be a really great point, I think that there's a better way to do this, considering Vanessa Lau's strategy of permanent versus vanishing content. Well, maybe I'm adapting it. Doesn't really matter. So Instagram stories is vanishing content, which means that after 24 hours, it's not going to be available to anyone. And for you as a creator, you have to go back into your archives to even be able to create a highlight out of any of the stories that you've posted. So instead of selling in my stories, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar to what Vanessa is talking about doing in her video, where she talks about how her short form videos, like her YouTube shorts, are going to be more of like lifestyle based content. So it's going to incorporate her story, or it's going to incorporate clips of her and her friends, or it's going to incorporate her exercising, whatever, what have you, right? Like day-to-day life kind of stuff in short form content. But I think the other thing, especially as a business owner, that I'm going to probably end up doing is I'm also going to sell in my short form content. Because, yeah, you're right. Sometimes selling can be fucking cringy. I get it. But if you don't talk about what you have to offer, then nobody's ever going to know about it. Now, am I going to talk about it in my longer form content? Maybe here and there. But at least if I'm like creating short form videos that are going to do some version of work for me. Like, I put up a video the other day about, I'm going to help you build a budget in less than 20 seconds. And what I did was I took a screen recording of my Stand Store and I said, okay, you're going to go to my Stand Store and you're either going to buy the master financial file for $9 because I spent 6 hours building it and it has a financial dashboard and pie charts and Gantt charts and all the sheets are connected. You're going to go into buy that and build out your budget, or you're going to go to the money matrix that I have. It's a free download and it's just a spreadsheet, right? So that piece of content is technically a selling piece of content because I am either getting them onto my email list or I'm driving them to make a purchase for $9. And so I'm going to be creating that type of content more, and not just selling type of content, right? But like content where it's like, okay, I made dinner tonight and here's why this is important. Or, I fed the cat, and here's why entrepreneurs who have cats are better entrepreneurs. Something stupid like that, right? But it keeps people's attention. It gets them interested. It gets them to know that I'm a cat person, and even though I have a cat right now, I could also be a dog person. You know what I mean? Like, it shows more aspects of myself in that short form video. So I'm going to be changing my short form video strategy to encapsulate that vanishing content strategy, where you would show your life in your Instagram stories. You show what's going on, right? I'm going to show my life in my TikToks or my YouTube shorts, and I'm going to make it relevant, like tie it back to my business. So something to consider and to think about. And I definitely wanted to create a YouTube video on this particular topic because I actually think it's a brilliant topic. And I actually think that YouTube is still very much so monetizable, and you could still grow on YouTube even to this day, even though it's so saturated, because people are always looking for something new or someone new, and they're always looking for somebody who's different. And that's why I'm like, okay, I know I can do this because I'm a trendsetter. That's right. I said it. I'm a trendsetter. I'm confident in myself. You can't take that away from me. And I know I'm going to do this. This is very possible. So thank you for tuning in. If you are new and you have not yet subscribed or clicked follow on the podcast, be sure to hit subscribe or hit follow and turn on notifications so that you get notified when the next episode comes out, because these episodes are going to be fucking good. I don't know that I could say that word on video or on the podcast. Doesn't really matter. I said it. These episodes are going to be so good because I'm literally, from this point forward, just going to be talking about my experiences and my stories and what I have been able to accomplish and learn and do, and how you can learn from my mistakes. Because trust me, I spent 4 or 5 years making all of these mistakes, and it would be so exponentially faster for you to just listen to this video or listen to this podcast and get the takeaway from it, so that you don't have to go through taking 5 years to make every single mistake and learn from it before you can get to success. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.